My name is Niamh O'Donnell. I'm Director of Poetry Ireland. I started here very recently, but Poetry Ireland was founded many years ago in 1978, and for 45 years it has been working and dedicated to engaging and connecting people and poetry. So number 11 Parnell Square was one of the first buildings built on the square, and in 1901 Dublin City Council took over the building and set up the chamber. And this room itself was the county manager's office. And beside us is the chamber where for 77 years loads of the major decisions around the development of the Greater Dublin area were made. Arts and culture is a fundamental right of every citizen, and poetry, I believe, speaks directly to and of people. Poetry enhances the image and the reputation of the city, and in fact, obviously, for Poetry Ireland, the country. So yes, being based in Parnell Square it's where we should be, at the heart of the city. So we work in sort of 2 or 3 different ways where we try to engage young people and young poets, and then poets throughout their career. So we start, say, with kind of education and outreach, where we run a Writers in Schools program and a Writers in Residence program in schools. So for the past 30 years, over 500,000 young people have engaged in this program, where poets go to the schools and teach and help young people to write. And it's about breaking down that sort of feeling that young people can have where they feel that poetry may not be for them. We also try to look at global issues with young people, where they engage with poetry and learn about the real key issues in the world. And we partner with global worldwide schools in that programme. We have a poet in residence at the moment, the first time for Poetry Ireland, and Catherine Ann Cullen is working with a lot of communities in Dublin 1, where we're running engagement programmes. So, that would be a really diverse programme, and again, being part of the community, that's why it's important to be in the city centre. Another aspect of our activity would be where we help poets to develop their practice, to develop their skills. So we run mentorship programs, educational programs, and then have opportunities for them to have readings, launch their publications, and we also publish. We have quite a large publishing arm. And all of that, again, is really important for us to be able to give opportunities, first to develop their work, but then also for an outlet for it. For example, we have Let Me Talk, which is run the first Monday of every month, and it's an open mic for spoken word artists. And that would be really at the root of, one of our kind of core principles is democracy, inclusivity, and diversity. So that is at the center of everything we do. And so it's really important for us that we have as many voices as possible, because that's what poetry does. It breaks down those barriers, it builds understanding, it builds inclusivity. So Poetry Ireland is very open to the kinds of work. You don't have to be a page poet to be part of Poetry Ireland. We like rap, we like songwriters, we like spoken word, we're supportive of everything where people express themselves.
Hi, my name is Bo Williams. I'm a performance poet from Portland, Maine in the States, and I've been in Dublin for about 2 years, Galway for about 2 years before that. And I teach workshops and perform at shows and venues across the country. And here's a poem I want to read about the time that I didn't know what I was looking for, but I knew that I was looking for something. And it wasn't until after I wrote the poem and started reading it that I was looking for love. And I found it the very next day. So never underestimate the power of poetry. So here we go. This poem is called The Highland Inn. I wrote it in the Highland Inn. If you were to find me, it'll be next to the seat that I saved for you. I'm still a bit sober as of yet, though the taps will bow before the pen gives out. If you prefer me pissed, then walk a lap to the bog and back. It won't take but a song or two. A woman will ask if this seat is taken. Her cheekbones will be cupped hands overpoured with freckles. They will spill through her fingers, splash over her shoulders. I will wonder to what God she prays that would let loose such a heaven. I would wonder what brilliant clock would stutter long enough to hide such poetry in the stars across her. I would wonder why words have yet to know my tongue, so I wash them back with a pint. If motivation is to join me on the sesh, may it arrive a sopping baked. May it be draped in the 3 sheets that the wind takes for its own. May it kick the loo door down to watch me knocked upon the throne. May it grab me by the ears, stare into my face and yell, "Is your blood not filled with ink, man? Is your chest not filled with hearts? May my spirit be as saved as this bar stool. May this bar stool grow a lighthouse from its back, steal the breath from your lungs, feed it back to you in beams. Let that which needs to find me do so when it must. May I recognize the sails before it passes into dusk."
So we first met Bo through a programme that we partner with Dublin Fringe Festival called Versify. And Bo is a perfect example of the kind of artist that has started to really engage with Poetry Ireland as a spoken word artist. And for us, again, it is that kind of importance of having everyone involved in Poetry Ireland. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what creed, everybody's welcome. Poetry Ireland moved into number 11 in 2016, and in the coming 2 to 3 years, we're very excited. We're going to refurbish and establish a poetry centre, because it's actually time. I think it's Olivia O'Leary who said, as a country of people and poets, as people of words, Ireland should have a poetry centre. We're going to develop the building. We're going to have the Seamus Heaney Library, probably about 20 to 30,000 books in our library. We'll have a poetry cafe and garden, as well as a performance space where we'll run events through the year. And we're partnering with the Heritage Trust in that development, and hope to launch in the next 2 to 3 years.